Have you ever wondered why some seniors over 60 seem sharper, stronger, and more energetic than others, even though they eat and sleep just like you? The answer might be sitting quietly in the produce section, hidden inside a deep red root you've probably walked past dozens of times without a second glance. It's beetroot. And believe it or not, 1 cup of beet juice in the morning could dramatically improve your heart, brain, and energy levels in just a few hours. In fact, some researchers now call it nature's blood flow miracle because of how fast it helps improve circulation and oxygen in aging bodies. But here's the twist. Most people over 60 make one of 3 common mistakes that cancel out these benefits, or worse, create side effects they didn't see coming. So in this video, you'll discover the 12 science-backed benefits of drinking beet juice daily, how to prepare it properly to get the full effect, and the warnings every senior should know before adding it to their routine. This may be the simplest and most powerful change you can make for your health after 60. Let's dive in. The first benefit, lower blood pressure. Ever found yourself gasping after just a short walk, or felt your heart pounding like crazy after climbing just a few stairs? And what about those mornings when you wake up, but before you even take your first step, the room starts spinning? So you sit on the edge of your bed, breathing slowly, waiting for the world to steady again? Everyone says, it's just old age, nothing to worry about. But here's the truth. It's not always normal. High blood pressure is something we think we understand. Take your pills, cut back on salt, eat bland food. Case closed, right? But sometimes it's the smallest changes, the ones we overlook, that bring the biggest results. And one of those changes might just be hiding in a deep red glass of beet juice you once thought was only good for adding color to soup. Now imagine this. Inside your body, there are thousands of tiny pipelines carrying blood from your heart all the way down to your toes. When those pipelines start narrowing, blood has a hard time flowing through, and your heart has to work harder to push it along. That's what causes your blood pressure to rise. Here's where it gets interesting. Beets are packed with a natural compound called nitrate. And once inside your body, nitrate gets converted into nitric oxide, a substance that acts like lubrication for your blood vessels. It gently widens them, making more space for blood to flow, so your heart doesn't have to strain so much. Just like that, the pressure eases. It's like lifting an invisible weight off your chest. You don't have to take my word for it. Listen to the science. Dr. Amrita Ahluwalia, a professor of vascular pharmacology at Queen Mary University of London, spent decades studying how beets affect the heart. In a landmark study published in the American Heart Association's Journal of Hypertension, just 1 cup of beet juice, 250 ml, helped lower systolic blood pressure by 7 to 10 mmHg in people with hypertension within just 3 to 6 hours. And if they drank it daily, the benefits lasted. That small drop, it can cut your risk of heart attack or stroke by up to 20%, according to top health experts. Shocking, isn't it? A humble root vegetable sitting quietly in your kitchen might work faster than some prescription meds, but that's not all. What most people don't talk about is how this natural blood pressure drop feels. When your pressure lowers gently, without force, without chemicals, your whole body starts to feel lighter. Your heart isn't straining. Your brain gets more oxygen. Your memory sharpens. Strangely enough, even your eyes feel brighter, your legs stop aching, and that dragging fatigue from morning till noon, it starts to fade away. I once heard a 72-year-old man say, "I don't know if it was the beets or just believing in them, but after 2 weeks, I stopped needing to hold the railing when going down the stairs." But like all things in life, there's a flip side, and most people don't notice this part. If you're someone with naturally low blood pressure, or your readings tend to fall below 110, drinking beet juice every morning might drop your pressure too much. You could feel lightheaded, a bit drowsy, or unusually sleepy after breakfast. And if you're on blood thinners or have kidney issues, it's best to check with your doctor before you begin. And here's a little twist. A lot of folks assume the more beet juice, the better. But that's not true. If you're just starting out, go slow. Half a cup, around 100 ml, is enough after a light breakfast. Listen to your body. If you feel good, you can gradually increase. But don't rush it, because sometimes the best results come not from speed, but from consistency. Lowering blood pressure isn't about a knockout punch. It's about a gentle journey. Beets aren't magic, but maybe They're nature's quiet way of reminding us. If you care for your body with patience and honesty, your body will respond with grace, strength, and kindness. 1 cup of beet juice won't replace your meds, but it might help you live longer and rely on those meds less. And for the years you still have ahead of you, isn't that a gift worth unwrapping? If you've tried beet juice before, or if you're thinking of starting, drop a comment below. Write, "I tried it," if you've already given it a go. Or type, "I'm starting," if you're ready to take that first sip tomorrow. And feel free to share. What kind of blood pressure issues are you facing? Did you ever imagine something as simple as a beet could help? I read every single comment, and you might be surprised to see just how many people your age are on the same journey you're on. And if you found this information helpful, hit like so YouTube's algorithm can send this video to more seniors who may be quietly struggling with blood pressure issues. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the things we truly believe will help you live healthier and more freely. Every single day. Because growing older doesn't mean slowing down. It means learning how to live right. And that journey, we'll walk it together. The second benefit, it's good for your heart. Let me ask you to try something simple. Place your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and for just a few seconds, feel it. That steady rhythm, your heartbeat, working without pause, without complaint, since the day you were born. Over 60 years, it has never asked for recognition. We often forget about our hearts. They don't ache like our joints, don't blur like our vision, don't fade like our memory. But if you've ever felt out of breath climbing stairs, or exhausted for no clear reason, that may have been your heart trying to speak up. You just didn't hear it in time. Here's a quiet truth most people don't say out loud. Even if you've never been diagnosed with heart disease, your heart, after age 60, begins to lose strength. Slowly, silently. Your blood vessels become less elastic. Your heart pumps less blood with each beat, and it has to work harder just to keep you going. But here's the good news. Your body can be supported, and it starts with something incredibly simple, beet juice. Earlier, we talked about nitric oxide, the compound your body creates from the natural nitrates in beets. It's not just for blood pressure. Nitric oxide plays a direct role in heart health by relaxing and widening your blood vessels. That means your heart doesn't have to push harder. It can beat smarter, gentler, more efficiently. Professor Joe Whelan, a cardiovascular specialist at the Vascular Health Research Center at the University of Exeter, led a study published in the Journal of Cardiology in 2021. She stated, "We observed that regular beetroot juice consumption significantly improved heart function in older adults, especially those with mild heart failure. After just a few weeks, they could walk farther, feel less fatigued, and their cardiovascular responses during exertion became more stable." And this isn't just data on a chart. A 69-year-old woman once told me, "I used to think the fluttering in my chest and tiredness from light housework were just part of aging. But after I started drinking beet juice every morning, I didn't just feel less tired. I started sleeping better, and I felt confident again, like I was reconnecting with the woman I used to be." What makes beets so powerful is not just the nitrates, but also betanin and flavonoids. These antioxidants help reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, and raise the good kind, HDL. Like a cleanup crew, they help clear out plaque buildup from your arteries, reducing the risk of blockages, heart attacks, and strokes. If you've always believed that avoiding greasy food was enough to protect your heart, maybe it's time to add one more powerful ally to your breakfast routine: beets. Of course, nothing is perfect. If you're already taking cholesterol-lowering medications or vasodilators, please talk to your doctor before starting beet juice daily. And remember, just one small glass, about 150 to 215 ml, is enough. You don't need to drink more, just be consistent. Because it's those small, steady habits that build a heart that stays strong for years to come. And if your heart has carried you all these decades without proper care, today could be the day you change that. With nothing more than a glass of deep red juice, rich with nutrients and love. The third benefit, cancer prevention. There's one fear that weighs even heavier on the minds of older adults than high blood pressure or diabetes, and that's cancer. We often think of cancer as something sudden, terrifying, and out of our control, like a silent shadow that creeps in overnight, with no reason, no warning, and no mercy. But the truth is, it rarely appears out of nowhere. It begins quietly, through our meals, our habits, our stress, and the slow, hidden inflammation that builds inside our bodies, cell by cell. Some people catch it early when it's just a tiny mass. Others find out when it's already too late. And the most frightening part? Many cancers grow slowly over years, fed by ongoing inflammation, damaged cells that never heal, and free radicals your body silently fights off every single day without you even knowing it. But here's something not many people talk about. There are certain natural foods that can interrupt this process before it begins. They're not replacements for medical treatment, but they can act as your body's quiet defense system, lowering your risk from the inside out. And one of those foods is the humble beet. Inside that deep red skin is a group of powerful compounds called betalains. Betalains don't just give beets their vibrant color. They're antioxidant warriors that help protect your DNA from damage. And damaged DNA? That's often the root cause of cancer. You might not feel them working, but every glass of beet juice you drink is like sending your body a quiet army, one that calms down tiny inflammation hotspots, neutralizes environmental toxins, and gently resets the damage from aging and past habits. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. A study published in Cancer Letters found that beet extract slowed the growth of breast, skin, and prostate cancer cells in lab settings. Researchers called it a promising candidate for nutritional cancer prevention, thanks to its natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Dr. Clifford E. Ting, a nutritional science expert from the Chicago Institute of Clinical Medicine, put it this way: betalains don't just eliminate free radicals. They also support the cell's self-repair process. These two actions together are key to reducing the risk of DNA mutations, which are at the core of most cancers. And the beautiful part? You don't need to go to extremes. You don't have to follow a harsh diet or cut everything out of your life to benefit. Just one small glass of beet juice in the morning, consistently, is enough to create a steady layer of protection over time. I once met a 71-year-old woman who had a benign tumor removed from her neck. After surgery, her doctor recommended she adopt an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So she did. Started drinking beet juice, added turmeric to her meals, cut back on sugar, and began taking light walks each day. No magic happened overnight. But 3 years later, she was still healthy, her skin glowed, her mind was sharp, and her test results were even better than people younger than her. Here's the twist. Prevention doesn't feel like victory. There's no moment of applause, no dramatic transformation. It's quiet, it's slow, it's invisible. But the small, steady choices you make today can protect you from the unimaginable tomorrow. Of course, if you're currently undergoing cancer treatment or you have a complex medical history, speak with your doctor before making changes to your diet. But if you're healthy now and want to stay that way for as long as possible, beets might be one of the simplest allies you can add to your routine. No fancy tools, no high cost, just consistency. The fourth benefit, better circulation and brain function. Have you ever found yourself in this situation? You're telling a story mid-sentence and suddenly forget what you were about to say. You're looking for your glasses, and they're sitting right on your head. You walk into a room to grab something, only to stand there, blank, wondering what you came in for. It happens so often that people jokingly call it silver head syndrome. And most of us just accept it as a normal part of aging. But here's a truth very few people talk about. Memory lapses and slow thinking don't always mean your brain is getting weaker. Sometimes, it's just not being fed properly. Your brain only weighs about 2% of your total body weight, yet it uses 20% of your oxygen. That means every thought, every memory, every decision depends on how quickly blood and oxygen reach your brain. The problem is, after age 60, circulation to the brain tends to slow down, and most people don't even realize it. At first, it shows up as minor brain fog or lack of focus. Then, you start losing interest in things you once loved. Your emotions feel flat. Your thoughts slow down like a fuzzy TV signal. And if someone told you that's just aging, they didn't tell you the whole story. Luckily, nature has a quiet way of helping us reconnect with ourselves. You see, the natural nitrates in beets, when converted to nitric oxide, don't just help your heart and muscles. They also improve microcirculation in the brain. That means more blood, more oxygen, and more clarity, especially in the frontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for memory, focus, and decision-making. This isn't just anecdotal talk. In a study published in the Journals of Gerontology, researchers at Wake Forest University discovered that older adults who drank beet juice and did light physical activity showed significant improvement in brain connectivity and cognitive performance. In just a few weeks, their brains communicated more efficiently, like upgrading the Wi-Fi signal on an old computer. Don't just take it from me. Take it from the MRI scans, the brain maps, and the real people who've experienced the difference. Because your brain can get sharper again, if it's given the blood flow it needs. My aunt, 66 years old, once called me and said, "I used to forget where I put my phone. I couldn't even remember my Facebook password. But after 3 weeks of drinking beet juice and taking a daily walk, I started remembering the names of old school friends. I even recited that long poem, Farewell March, from 9th grade." I laughed. Not because of the poem, but because I knew her memory never left. It was just buried under lack of oxygen, poor circulation, and years of being overlooked. And here's the twist. Improving your memory doesn't require expensive brain supplements or complex memory games. Sometimes, all it takes is clean, consistent blood flow to the brain. That said, if you're taking vasodilators or blood pressure medications, please talk to your doctor first before adding daily beet juice to your routine. Because boosting circulation too quickly in people already on medication may affect how your body reacts. And it's important to be properly monitored. And if you want to enhance the brain-boosting effect even more, combine beet juice with brain-friendly activities. Read a book, solve a crossword, take a walk in the park, or simply tell your grandkids a story. The more you use your brain, the more blood it demands. The more blood it receives, the stronger and sharper it becomes. A beautiful cycle, all starting with a single glass of deep red beet juice every morning. The fifth benefit, liver detoxification. The liver is one of the quietest organs in your body. It doesn't scream when it's tired, it doesn't sting when it's hurt, and it rarely gives you clear warning signs when it's overwhelmed. That silence is exactly why so many people, especially after 60, wrongly believe their liver is doing just fine. Until one day, it's not. You may not see it, but every single day, your liver filters hundreds of toxins, from food, polluted air, medications, even emotional stress. It's your body's filtration system, the control center of your metabolism, your first line of defense against everything trying to harm you from the outside world. And here's a lesser-known truth. The older you get, the more your liver slows down, but the less obvious the symptoms become. That means your liver might already be struggling. You just feel it as poor appetite, dull skin, or that strange, lingering fatigue you can't explain. That's your liver quietly asking for help. And once again, beets step in as a gentle but powerful ally. Beets contain a natural compound called betaine, often called the liver's silent supporter by nutritional experts. Betaine helps activate liver enzymes to break down fat, speed up detoxification, and most importantly, reduce fat buildup in the liver, one of the top causes of liver inflammation and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. On top of that, beets are rich in antioxidants, especially betalains, which help reduce liver cell inflammation and protect liver tissue from damage by free radicals. And that's critical in a world where most of us are overloading our livers with sugar, fried foods, and pharmaceuticals. Don't just take it from me. This has been backed by science. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that people who drank beet juice regularly for just 14 days showed clear improvements in liver health, including lower ALT and AST enzyme levels, which are direct indicators of liver stress and damage. Dr. Ralph Peters, a biochemist at the Berlin Institute for Nutrition Research, once said, "We can't claim beetroot cures liver disease, but what we've seen is this. Betaine and betalains help the liver do its job better, especially in older adults, whose livers are often pushed past their limits." And here's the twist. The early signs of a toxic or overworked liver are often mistaken for signs of aging, feeling sleepy after meals, dull, tired-looking skin, a faint bad breath, loss of appetite. You might have thought, well, I'm just getting older. But the truth is, your body might simply be calling out softly for support. The good news is you don't need to go on harsh detoxes, skip meals, or drink lemon water for days. Sometimes all your liver needs is a little breathing room. Just 1 glass of beet juice each morning, or even 3 to 4 times a week, is enough to give your liver the support it needs to catch up, repair, and do what it's always done best. Of course, if you have a history of liver disease, are on specialized medication, or have unusually high liver enzymes, always consult your doctor before changing your diet. But if you're simply trying to protect the organ that protects you every day, then beetroot juice is a beautiful place to start. If you've ever felt a loss of appetite, long-lasting fatigue, or you've worried about your liver health, leave a comment below that says, "I want to protect my liver." That's a small promise for a powerful change. If you found this information helpful, hit like so more people silently suffering from liver fatigue can find this message. Share this with someone you love, especially if they take multiple medications or don't always eat the healthiest. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue this journey to better health. From the inside out, together, quietly, consistently, with kindness. Because just because an organ doesn't make noise, doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be heard. The 6th benefit, reducing inflammation. When we hear the word inflammation, most of us think of things we can see and feel, redness, swelling, pain, or maybe a fever. But there's another kind of inflammation, one that's silent, persistent, and far more dangerous. It doesn't make you cry out in pain. Instead, it drains your energy. It shows up as chronic joint aches, restless nights, brain fog, even low moods. This type of inflammation doesn't stay in one place. It spreads quietly through your bloodstream, your tissues, the lining of your blood vessels, your liver, your heart, your kidneys, even your brain. It's called low-grade chronic inflammation, and it's one of the most silent, most destructive enemies of aging. Here's something no one may have told you. Many of the symptoms you've blamed on getting older are actually signs that your body is fighting an invisible fire every single day. Stiff joints in the morning? That could be inflammation. Dry eyes, fatigue, dull skin. Inflammation again. Even high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol all have links to long-term inflammatory responses. So what can you do? Is there a way to help your body fight this internal fire without relying on handfuls of pills? The answer is yes. And beets are one of the rare natural foods that are powerfully anti-inflammatory, safe for older adults, and easy to add to your daily routine. Inside beets, there's a special group of compounds called betalains, especially betanin, that act like firefighters in your bloodstream. They help neutralize free radicals, reduce oxidative damage, and lower the production of pro-inflammatory markers like TNF-alpha and CRP, both of which are found in high levels in people with chronic illness. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly consumed betalain-rich foods like beets had CRP levels up to 30% lower than those who didn't. Professor Karen Collins, a nutrition expert focused on cancer and chronic disease prevention, put it simply: reducing inflammation isn't a quick fix, it's a lifestyle strategy. And beets are one of the most sustainable foods to support that long-term approach. And here's the twist. The part most people never realize. Chronic inflammation doesn't just hurt your body, it affects your mind too. It steals your focus. It interrupts your sleep. It dims your mood and robs you of the joy you used to feel about life. So if you've been thinking, I just don't feel like myself anymore, it may not be age catching up with you. It may be your body fighting a hidden battle and quietly asking for your help. And you can begin that help with something as simple as a glass of beet juice. Not extreme, not expensive, just consistent. The 7th benefit, digestive support. Sometimes it's the smallest things that throw your entire day off balance. That feeling of bloating, even when all you had was half a bowl of rice, waking up in the morning with your stomach bubbling, heavy, uncomfortable, or those days when you sit down to eat, but have no appetite at all. No sharp pain, no fever. Just this lingering sense that your body hasn't really digested life. If you're over 60, chances are you've gotten used to it. Used to eating less because it's easier. Used to the occasional constipation. Used to brushing off discomfort by saying, it's probably just my age. But here's the truth. Poor digestion isn't normal, and it certainly shouldn't be accepted as a natural part of growing older. Your body can still digest well. It can absorb nutrients fully. All it needs is for you to treat your gut not like a worn-out machine, but like a friend that's been with you through it all. This is where beets come in, quietly but powerfully. Beets are rich in soluble fiber, a type of fiber your body doesn't digest, but your gut bacteria absolutely love. This fiber acts like food for the beneficial microbes in your colon. It helps rebalance your gut microbiome, soften your stools, ease constipation, and make nutrient absorption much more efficient. But there's more. Remember betaine, the compound we talked about in liver health? It plays a key role here too. Betaine helps stimulate the production of digestive enzymes and bile, both of which are crucial for breaking down fats and processing the food you eat every day. A study published in Nutrition Research found that older adults who drank beetroot juice for 10 to 14 days experienced significant improvements in bowel regularity, appetite regulation, and a 35% reduction in bloating and indigestion symptoms. And that lines up perfectly with the story of Linda, a 68-year-old woman from Ohio. She once told me, "I've never had a major illness, but I've always lived with this constant discomfort. After meals, I had to lie down before I could even move again. Some days, my stomach would bloat so badly I'd have to unbutton my pants, and I just assumed this is what aging feels like." Then, during a senior yoga class, a friend introduced her to beet juice. At first, she was hesitant. That strange, deep red vegetable didn't exactly look like something that would help her stomach. But she tried it, just one small glass after breakfast, 3 times a week. After 2 weeks, the first change she noticed wasn't that her stomach felt lighter, it was that she actually wanted to eat again. Then came less bloating, no more lying down after meals, regular bathroom trips, and that heavy, dragging feeling she carried every day. It slowly faded. She didn't call it a miracle. She just smiled and said, "I think my gut finally felt, gently cared for." Yes, that's the part most people don't realize. Your digestive system isn't just there to process food. It's your second emotional center. When your gut feels off, your whole mood shifts. When absorption fails, even the best nutrition won't work. And when digestion slows down, it affects everything, from your immune system to your sleep, even your memory. It's a small circle, with a huge impact on the quality of your life. So if you've been living with those quiet, not serious but annoying symptoms, this might be your sign. A sign to start caring for your gut, gently and consistently. No need for digestive pills, no harsh elimination diets, just a simple, steady habit. A glass of beet juice a few times a week, a meal enjoyed slowly, and a stomach that finally feels at peace every day. Benefit 8. Increased stamina and energy. There's a sentence I believe many people over 60 have either said, or at least thought to themselves, "I'm not who I used to be." In the past, just one night's sleep would be enough to feel refreshed in the morning. Now, you wake up still feeling tired. Back then, walking around the neighborhood was nothing. Now, after just 5 to 10 minutes, you're looking for a bench to rest. And sometimes, you're mid-sentence, and suddenly forget what you were about to say. Then you laugh and say, "Oh, well, I'm getting old." But what if I told you, a lot of that isn't just aging, but rather that your body is starving for oxygen? Would you believe it? You see, one of the main reasons older adults tire easily, feel drained, and lose their spark in daily life is due to something rarely talked about: poor blood flow to the muscles and brain. When oxygen doesn't reach your body fast and strong enough, your cells can't truly live fully. It's like trying to cook with low heat. Everything is sluggish, slow, and cools down before it's ready. And this is where beet juice enters the picture, like a quiet but powerful transport assistant. Beets contain a high amount of nitrate. When converted to nitric oxide, it not only dilates blood vessels, but also increases blood flow to the muscles, especially when you move. Naturally, it helps your body breathe better from the inside. And you'll feel it when you stand up from a chair without needing support, walk longer without gasping, or still have the energy at the end of the day to do something you enjoy. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that those who drank beet juice before exercise were able to increase workout time by 16% compared to those who didn't. But what's more interesting is that most participants were middle-aged or older adults, not professional athletes. A 67-year-old man once told me after trying beet juice every morning, "I don't feel young again, but I feel less old." That sentence has stuck with me ever since. And here's a truth few people mention. Fatigue isn't a guaranteed part of aging. It's a signal that your body needs support, and you can do something about it. You don't have to sigh every time you leave the house or make excuses like, "My joints are too weak," to turn down energetic outings with your grandkids. However, one thing to note, if you have serious heart conditions or are on medication that affects blood flow, be sure to consult your doctor before drinking beet juice regularly, because increased blood flow to the muscles can make the heart adjust suddenly, and that needs medical supervision if you're undergoing treatment. Also, here's a little tip few people know. If you want to maximize the energy boosting effect, drink beet juice 2 to 3 hours before doing any physical activity, such as walking, yoga, gardening, or even house chores. That's when nitric oxide works best. You'll feel your legs become lighter and your mind as if it's been refreshed with new energy. Once again, you don't have to take my word for it. Try it yourself. And if one small glass of beet juice helps you live more fully for 2 or 3 hours afterward, isn't that something worth keeping up every day? Benefit 9. Immune system support. You might not think about it often, but every single day, your body is quietly fighting off thousands of invaders. Bacteria, viruses, toxins, free radicals, all of them are constantly trying to get in and wear you down. And the only thing standing between you and illness is your immune system. But here's something few people talk about. After age 60, the immune system doesn't just get weaker. It becomes more vulnerable to the very things you've gotten used to in daily life. Your habits, your emotions, even your home environment. Not sleeping enough, lacking key nutrients, long-term use of medications, and simply chronic stress. All of these slowly wear your immune system down day by day, without you even noticing. And then it starts. You catch colds more easily. Wounds take longer to heal. You feel drained whenever the weather shifts, and sometimes a mild cold knocks you out for a full week. But there is hope, and beetroot happens to be one of nature's most powerful allies. Beets are not a miracle cure, but they're packed with key nutrients that help your immune system work better. Vitamin C stimulates white blood cell production, your frontline soldiers against infections. Iron supports red blood cell creation, bringing oxygen to your tissues so immune cells stay active. Magnesium and zinc regulate immune responses and help reduce inflammation. Betalins, antioxidant compounds that protect immune cells from oxidative damage. A study published in the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition found that people who regularly consumed beetroot juice saw clear improvements in white blood cell counts, reduced respiratory infections, and faster recovery from colds and flu. Dr. Melanie Lewis, an immunologist specializing in aging at the University of California, once said, "Beetroot helps the immune system function more effectively, not by forcing it to work harder, but by reducing oxidative stress and nourishing immune cells from the ground up." And here's a mini twist you may have never considered. Your immune system doesn't need to be flooded with supplements. What it really needs is for you to stop exhausting it. Just by letting go of a few harmful habits, adding the right foods, and paying attention to small details in how you care for your body, you give your immune system the break it's been waiting for. One glass of beet juice in the morning, paired with restful sleep, a calm mind, and a balanced diet, is a simple but sustainable way to help you avoid long-lasting colds, nagging infections, and those unpredictable bouts of fatigue. And remember, immunity isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about living fully, going out without worry, playing with your grandkids without fear, enjoying each day without thinking, "I'm too fragile for that." Now that you've learned the many benefits of beetroot juice, let's explore how to prepare it properly. Because even the simplest glass, when done right, can deliver more than you ever imagined. Picture this, a slow, peaceful morning. Sunlight spilling gently through your kitchen window. You're rinsing deep purple beets, chopping them with care. And as the blender hums to life, you're not just making a drink. You're creating a quiet ritual of self-care. Making beet juice isn't hard, but there are a few small, very small details that, if overlooked, might turn your beautiful-looking drink into nothing more than just a pretty glass. Not the healthy energy boost your body's actually hoping for. Let's start with the basics. Choose organic beets if you can. You don't want to blend pesticide residues into something you believe is helping your health. Wash them thoroughly. Peel them if the skin is too thick or has a strong, earthy smell. Then cut them into small pieces. Not for looks, but to make blending easier and to avoid gritty sips. To make the juice more balanced and easier to drink for older adults, you can add half an apple, a few carrot slices, a thin slice of ginger, or a splash of lemon juice. These ingredients don't just improve the flavor, they also boost anti-inflammatory, digestive, and circulatory benefits. Here's a tip not many people mention. If you want to retain fiber for better digestion, don't strain the pulp. But if you're prone to bloating or just starting out, feel free to strain it through a fine mesh sieve and slowly increase fiber intake after a few weeks. But the timing of when you drink it is what really makes the difference. Try drinking beet juice in the morning on an empty stomach. That's when your gut is like a clean slate. Nutrients get absorbed deeper and faster. And according to your body's natural rhythm, morning is when your liver, kidneys, and circulatory system are ramping up. So fueling them at the right time supports your body's full cleanup mode. If you want to maximize its energy-boosting effects, drink it 2 to 3 hours before any physical activity. That's when nitric oxide production peaks, helping you breathe more deeply, circulate blood more efficiently, and move more lightly and freely. So how much should you drink? And how much is too much? If you're new to beet juice, start with 100-150 milliliters, about 3 to 5 ounces per serving, 3 to 4 times a week. Don't start drinking it daily right away, because even though it's natural, beetroot is a powerful food and your body needs time to adjust. After a few weeks, if everything feels fine, you can increase to 200-250 milliliters, 6 to 8 ounces, and maintain it consistently. You don't have to push yourself to drink a lot. The magic doesn't come from the quantity. It comes from consistency and from listening to your body. That said, beet juice isn't for everyone. If you have low blood pressure, be cautious, because beets help dilate blood vessels, and that might make you dizzy if your blood pressure is already low. Start with half a glass and drink it after a light snack rather than on an empty stomach. If you have a history of kidney stones, consult your doctor before making it a regular habit. Beets contain oxalates, which can contribute to stone formation if consumed in large amounts. If you're taking blood thinners, strong blood pressure medication, or have liver conditions, also speak with your doctor, as beet juice may affect how your body absorbs and distributes medication. And here's one more thing. A common but harmless effect of drinking beet juice is pink or reddish urine or stool. It's caused by the betanin pigment, and it's nothing to worry about. But if you've never seen it before, it might surprise you the first time. So if you've ever felt stuck, unsure where to begin when it comes to taking better care of yourself after 60, try starting with just 1 glass of beet juice tomorrow morning. And if you're thinking of giving it a go, comment 1 below to let me know you're on this journey with us. Tap like. If this guide felt easy to follow and worth trying, share it with someone you care about, especially those who always say, I want to try, but don't know how. And subscribe to this channel, so each week you don't just learn how to care for your health, but you understand why every small action matters for the long run. Because a healthy body doesn't require expensive routines. It simply needs to be nurtured with knowledge. And it all begins with 1 small glass.